So Blizzard has a new initiative. We are looking at Defense Matrix, and they've released a blog post about it. The idea behind this is it's going to promote positivity and get rid of disruptive behavior. No, that's not let's get rid of hacking, though they will mention a little bit about hacking. That is disruptive behavior, and you're going to notice that is the terminology they use all the way through here. So some of that is going to be negative chat stuff, but is that going to branch beyond that into people just playing in a way that other people don't like? People locking Roadhog when their team hates that they lock Roadhog? That's one example, but it could be picking, the wrong hero according to the team's idea in general. Or is it going to be, hey, someone not being in voice chat when everyone else thinks they should be in voice chat and should be making calls? How far does this expand and how much control are the players going to have? That becomes my concern looking at this. And let's see if we have reason to be concerned. So, their goals for Defense Matrix: define, develop, and nurture programs that will ensure positive experience for all players. I get a little worried when something is all players because making everyone happy tends to not be something that you can do, so probably just BS, but we'll see. Ensure competitive integrity, that I like, at every level of play by rapidly identifying and eliminating cheaters and disruptive players. Okay, so rapidly eliminating cheaters. That's good. We want to do that. I want to know, does this mean that ban waves are mostly a thing of the past and that we're not going to be holding back on banning people to catch them in the wave for the arms race that is, hey, the developers or the cheat developers come up with something, the devs find that thing and go, but we're not going to ban it yet because we don't want you to move on to the next thing yet. We want to ban them all at once because they've done ban waves. Ban waves are very much a thing that they've done. And does this mean that that's gone and now they're going to ban stuff on site? But the other thing that's going to concern me here is disruptive players. What does that mean? Does that mean, hey, you're Maywalling your own team in spawn and they can't get out? Yeah, that's disruptive. That might be fine. But what if you jumped off a cliff to reset and your team doesn't realize that that's what you're doing and that's the correct thing to do in some situations, and they go, oh, that's disruptive, we want to report you, or our system sees that you jumped off a cliff and that's bad. I don't know. Create a safer community both in and out of game by embracing a firm stance against disruptive gameplay and enabling players who are both positive and constructive to be the leading voices in the community. Are players who are both positive and constructive to be leading voices in the community. Are we making players mods? Is that what's happening here? Is this like if your endorsement level is high enough, your reports count for more, or your reports get acted on sooner or considered more serious, or maybe you get to be the review community like Counter-Strike's Overwatch for like now you can do reviews because you have been recognized as a positive and constructive being? Are we giving people more power for being nice effectively? Because that's kind of what happens with endorsement levels. Are we going to find a lot of tanks that are willing to play Reinhardt if we're using Overwatch 1 as an example, and supports that are willing to play, say, Mercy and Ana? Are these going to be the people? Because they tend to have the highest endorsement levels compared to Roadhogs and Wrecking Balls and Zenyatas, things like that, and they are going to decide what is and isn't cheating, for example? Are they going to be evaluating, wait, were hacks used here? I don't know, but this worries me. We'll have to see. Then we get into SMS Protect. So they are straight out going to require that any account that plays Overwatch 2 has SMS Protect enabled. And they're going to say that, some types of numbers won't work, including prepaid and voice over IP, cannot be used for SMS Protect. So this reads pretty clearly, if you own 3 or 4 or 5 copies of Overwatch 1, but you've only got one legit phone number, as they define legit, you're only going to be able to play Overwatch 2 with one single account. So call me crazy, but they're basically taking away your license. You had an Overwatch 1 license that was apparently only good for up to 6 years and is going to terminate really on October 3rd here as we hit the end of Overwatch 1. It's not going to be useful to you in Overwatch 2 because if your first account gets banned or, anything happens to it, whatever, you're not going to be able to switch and use one of your other accounts. If you had some skins that you liked on one account and others on a different account, well, you're kind of just out of luck. You're only going to have one number probably to bring those forward on. And it is SMS Protect there, so you're probably going to have to go digital. You won't be able to go, oh, I'll use my landline for one and myself for the other. Well, you're not going to get text messages for the authenticator, etc., on your landline there. So probably not. So I look at this and say, yeah, they really are taking away. They're really taking away a game that you did pay. You purchased your game. You may have bought it on sale. You may have bought it on a discount, but you did purchase your game, even if it was another copy, a second, a third, whatever copy of it. And you're probably not going to be able to play it. This isn't like, oh, it's all perfectly fine because you get to play it for free and everyone gets to play it for free. Well, you had multiple copies and now you don't. Maybe you guys think, hey, that's perfectly fine because those were just Smurf accounts, whatever. But what if you had an account that you played by yourself and then you had an account that you played with friends because the account you played with yourself got way too high in SR to play with your friends? Blizzard was clearly perfectly happy with that arrangement, and now you'd have to pick one. This gets a little dicey. Then we get into system design. And here they're just talking about, hey, they're going to use machine learning or they've been using machine learning to figure out abusive chat bans, things like that. They want to apply that to all the spaces, but they're going to be doing audio transcripts, where if people report you, they will temporarily save your audio transcript. And they'll then scan through it and go, okay, we see what's going on here and we can apply our machine learning to this, but because it's then converted text to speech, we can scan through it and go, okay, what do you know? We then, based off the text, are going to ban you off of this, that, or the other thing, or silence you off of this, that, and the other thing. They talk here a lot about how, oh, after 30 days it'll be deleted, don't worry, etc. But the reality is there's nothing that's going to stop them at some point from updating their terms of service, and everyone will just click through it because that's what people do. That says, oh yeah, maybe we're not going to delete these anymore, etc. And then maybe we'll start mining this audio data for stuff that we can sell to advertisers, and advertisers will pay a little bit of it. Welcome to how things work. It's another potential route for monetization. It'll almost certainly get used at some point. If it doesn't get used, it's because they think, hey, there's nothing here worth selling. But based on how most things go, probably will be at some point. Who knows? Then they get into first-time user experience, and this is clearly part of how they're thinking about, okay, it's a free-to-play game, potentially anyone can get in. They want to deal with hackers and cheaters and people who are just going to be trolls and, get around their SMS in some way. So it makes sense that they're doing something here. I can understand that, but what we're going to see is we're going to see gradual unlocks. So there's going to be a level 1 and a level 2 unlock, and when you start playing, if you didn't come from Overwatch 1, don't have an account before October 4th, you're going to be in a situation where it gradually unlocks the game starting heroes for you. We're not talking about, the new heroes like Junker Queen and Sojourn. We're talking about the existing heroes are gradually going to unlock for you over time, as are the game modes. You're actually going to have to win 50 quick play games before you can get into competitive. But even the game modes besides competitive, you're going to have to play some games before they unlock. Chat, you're going to have to play some games before it unlocks, that sort of thing, over the course of about 100 games or so, it looks like, to unlock the features like chatting in voice, like being able to type in all chat, those sorts of things. So that's fine. There's obviously some concerns with that. It looks like most of those restrictions, except the comp one, go away if you group with friends. You're able to chat in team chat or in party chat if you're grouping with people. But that's not incredibly unusual there. So they're going for rapid unlocks of these modes, heroes, etc. Okay, then we move on and we get over to endorsements. And endorsements, I don't see too much here, except that what you run into is you will be getting more experience on your battle pass if you have higher endorsement levels. Well, what does that mean? That probably means people will be begging for endorsements. Seeing people begging for endorsements will probably become more of a thing. Getting regular experience in Overwatch to get more loot boxes really wasn't very important, but Battle Pass, unlocking your new hero faster, unlocking some of the stuff on the Battle Pass, that's probably going to be more important to people, so you're probably going to have to put up with more people going, endorse me, or, that sort of thing. That said, they are merging them all into one type of endorsement. No longer will you have 3 different colors for the endorsements, types for the endorsements that people didn't actually use correctly anyways. Okay. Pre-competitive match screen. So going into the match on the loading screen there where you see the map and you see everyone's SR, you're not going to see everyone's SR anymore. So the idea is that that's going to get rid of some of the bias that people have going in of, oh, we're going to lose, or maybe our tank is diamond and we hate that diamond tank in the GM game. Except if you can still see people's rank in the game, unless they're hiding that too, or making that like effort to go find when you're in the middle of the game, I don't really think it changes much. The reality is people are very quickly going to press tab and see, okay, what is everyone's rank? Now, they're not going to see, oh, it's 4,200 versus 4,400 without looking a little deeper, doing a view profile type thing, but I don't know. I look at this and sort of say, that's probably not hugely changing things. In GM, it maybe changes things a little bit because there's such a difference, and people will, when you can pay attention in GM and notice, yeah, people will get a little, we have a 4,100, or we have, this who can't keep up with the rest of the lobby, whatever. But I think for all the lower ranks, people are mostly looking at, okay, is that a gold icon or a plat icon, a plat icon or a diamond icon or a master's icon, and we're not going to see a huge amount of, our master's is 3,700, well, your master's is 3,850, like that. No. Okay. I mean, they weren't even really looking at that. They were looking at the average of the two teams. But, I don't really think people were pre-tilting massively over the average of the two being different. If you wanted the actual SR, you always had to do a career profile look. But hey, ping system, we know about that. General chat, they're just going to get rid of it. Whatever. And then, hey, Defense Matrix is going to go be in other places as well. It's going to go across the Activision Blizzard King titles and how they're part of the Fair Play Alliance and all that stuff. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't think it matters a ton to you guys either. So what do you think? Do you look at this and say, hey, all is great, this is going to be fantastic, less cheating, that's what I'm hearing? Or do you look at this and say, they're really using this disruptive behavior word a lot. They're doing that sort of thing, and that seems a little bit more like disruptive just becomes, okay, well, what do people not like? What people don't like isn't necessarily the same thing as what you should or shouldn't be doing to win. You guys, kind of a meme, how much gold players want Reinhardt on their team or want Mercy on their team or whatever the thing is there. So if the player's going, no, they want to play Wrecking Ball instead, again, using Overwatch 1 as the example, is that player just going to be reported to Kingdom Come or silenced or banned or whatever the case is here? Does it bother you that they're potentially taking away your alt accounts that you paid for? They're not rolling that over into, now they get access to another free game as well here, so it's okay that even though you paid for it, you're not getting something other people didn't because the game is free. Because no, they're taking away all your other accounts, really, since they're doing this SMS Protect as an absolutely mandatory thing. Let me know. Is this mostly good news, bad news? Are you looking at this and saying, yeah, I believe they're going to be more active about cheaters? It looks like they're, at least based on what they say, going to be more active about bans, less focused on ban waves. I might believe that when I see it. Or do you look at this and say, no, again, that disruptive word is being used rather than the cheating word. This just seems like they're more worried about how nice chat is going to be. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you have questions, concerns, or are thinking about Overwatch 2 coming into it, drop a like, consider subscribing for more Overwatch content, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Temporal out.